welcome back to CC Cast. In the last week, there's been two major trailers that dropped. First and foremost, we have Captain America: Civil War. So, Brian and John, you guys can discussion on that.
Hello, we're back. Let's see. Civil War. This is a movie that, when it got announced at the big Marvel presentation, I think they did last year, this was one of the most hyped movies that they had because it's Civil War. This is like one of the biggest comic events Marvel's ever done.
I was really hyped for it. You know, I remember going to see the first Iron Man movies and really, you know, when you first found out you had to wait until after the credits, and I really liked how they built up every little bit of the Avengers. So, you know, hearing about Civil War and now getting into comic book recently myself, I understand the significance. So I was excited for it, but I don't know, after the trailer, I am significantly less excited for it, and I don't understand.
I think there's a reason for that. I think it's because the Civil War comic was a grand. This encompassed the entire Marvel universe. Marvel Studios can't exactly do that because of studio rights, so they got to encompass Avengers 2.5 is what I like to call it. I mean, that's basically what it is. And so, really though, there's two big money shots, but there's one money shot I'm going to get into should have had. The two big money shots, we finally got Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. This is a character that we've been waiting to see on screen for a while, and it looks amazing. The suit looks great. I can't wait to see what Chadwick does. I like seeing him in action already at this point, doing that awesome like superhero pose already at this point. So that was great. Then we have Bucky and Captain America doing some Dragon Ball Z style tag team nonsense on Iron Man at the very end. And what I love about it, and this is me coming from like a film critic, aesthetic film point, it's no like shaky cam, getting in close, you know, getting the camera in action. You see the action literally just in one single like shot, and that's it. And I love the fact that the Russo brothers, who, if you remember, did Winter Soldier, arguably one of the best Marvel cinematic movies out there in the MCU, they're back to do this one. I love that they maintain that sense of like grittiness and realism they brought with Winter Soldier.
Yeah, one of the things I'm really interested to see in what they do with this movie is how they handle this many characters. I mean, you got a good idea of it from the trailer that this is indeed still a Captain America movie. He is still the focus. But you kind of get from the trailer, I don't know if any of you two got it when you were watching the trailer, but from what I got two different angles onto why the quote-unquote Civil War happens. On one angle, it's because of the events that happened in Age of Ultron with, spoiler warning, a giant city in Sokovia falling to the ground and destroying a lot.
That's actually why, instead of the Superhero Registration Act, it's actually going to be called the Sokovia Accords this time.
Yeah, that's one angle I'm thinking of, but I think the other angle that they're going with is with Cap's relationship with Bucky. And
I like that. I do like that, yes.
Like you get, my favorite moment of the trailer, along with Iron Man getting the ever-loving crap beaten out of him by Cap and Bucky, was just a brief conversation between Captain America and Bucky where Captain America goes, I'm sorry, but he is my friend, and Iron Man just looks at him in his suit and goes, so was I. That right there just gave me a good, hit in the feels. And it made me very excited for the movie, and I can't wait to see for it to come out. And I'm upset I have to wait till, correct me if I'm wrong, commenters, May till it comes out.
Yeah,
I have to wait till May.
I think you're right for that. All right, so moving on from that trailer, we have to, if we're going to talk about movie trailers, we absolutely have to talk about the Batman vs. Superman trailer, which dropped at, 1 o'clock in the morning last night?
No, it was, by the time we're recording this, guys, it's December 3rd. The trailer came out on Jimmy Kimmel Live the 2nd, so that was 11:35 at night.
Oh, it was 11:30. All right, I didn't see it till 1, but
this trailer.
When I watched it at around 1 o'clock, and I didn't stop rewatching it until about 2:30, just because I couldn't really pin my feelings on it. So let me get some of these feelings out. First and foremost, Jesse Eisenberg is having the time of his life. I don't care who you
Like,
are. There's no way you cannot pick up on that. It's perfect.
It's weird because it's kind of like a weird, like, with his acting, at least Jesse Eisenberg's acting, he's kind of been on a weird transition with studio movies. Like, you know, he was a jerk in Social Network, then he kind of had a little bit of fun in Now You See Me 1, and now he's just going full on crazy in this movie, and it's just like, that's kind of interesting to see.
Beautiful. It's almost like Michael Cera if Michael Cera did a bunch of acid. That's just how I always view Jesse Eisenberg.
Or it's Michael Cera.
I haven't done it included at this point because I hate the fact that Michael Cera and Jesse Eisenberg get compared to each other. Granted, they both kind of look alike when you think about it.
I don't even think they look alike. There's just
they both definitely act in the same, have the same mannerisms in terms of how they portray their characters. They're both kind of socially awkward. They stutter a lot. And personally, with the Jesse Eisenberg Luthor, I'm interested to see where they go with this. But I have to stress, I'm not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg Luthor. My Lex Luthor has been and always will be the Kurgan. Now you're like, wait, the Kurgan, wasn't he a villain in Highlander? Yeah, but they were both Lex Luthor in Batman and Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, some episodes of Batman, and some of the direct-to-DVD DC animated movies. Clancy Brown played Lex Luthor, and he is, much like Mark Hamill is my Joker, Clancy Brown is my Lex Luthor. He did the best personification of Lex Luthor I've seen. Now, if we're sticking with on-screen Lex Luthors, and that being Jesse Eisenberg, Kevin Spacey, and Gene Hackman, I kind of got to go Gene Hackman. I mean,
everyone goes with Gene Hackman. That's kind of like the obvious choice. Gene Hackman was the first one to fully embody it. Granted, I actually think Kevin Spacey made a phenomenal Lex Luthor, even if the movie he was in was terrible.
I always like Kevin Spacey no matter what movies he's in. I don't know, there's always just something about, like, he always brings something to the character that just automatically makes me like him, and I don't understand why.
Well, it's Kevin Spacey. He's just that damn good of an actor.
Yeah, but I don't know. There are just there are certain movies where that even shouldn't carry it, but it does for me.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like the Jesse Eisenberg thing in the trailer, like I'm interested to see what direction they take him in, and the fact that right now he has, like in the trailers, you're seeing Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, which from what I've been hearing, they're saying he's the son of another Lex Luthor, and that confuses me a little because I'm not that familiar with how it is in the comic book lore outside of like maybe.
You know what? I've got it. I'm willing to bet. I'm completely kidding on this, but can you imagine if it's he's the son of the Lex Luthor from Smallville because they have like the hair? It'd be great.
No,
Taylor, do you just want an excuse for Michael Rosenbaum or Tom Welling to come back? Is that it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would love an excuse for that. Come on, I loved them. I loved them.
No, I'm gonna get my.
Anyway,
it was great.
Anyway, to get back onto my point real quick, the fact that in all the trailers you're seeing so far, Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor still has hair. Now, if you know, Luthor is bald, which leads me to believe at some point, either in this movie or later on, he's going to lose his hair in some way, shape, or form. And kind of going forward, the other thing I'm interested to see in this trailer, this is a much different Batman than what we've seen previously. This is the more...
He's a Ninja Turtle reject.
No.
No, we'll get into him. We're gonna get into him.
We will get to Ninja Turtle reject in a minute.
I completely at this point believe the new Batman suit, like it feels like Shredder's outfit from one of the Michael Bays.
But here's the thing. Though. That Batman outfit
it bothers me.
It may bother you, but it is one of the more true to true to realism iterations of Batman's cape and cowl. And I'm interested to see what they do. And also, the one thing I like about this version of Batman, he's using a voice synthesizer to mask his voice. He's not doing some Christian Bale. He's going to get laryngitis at some point, masking of his voice. No, it's like a voice synthesizer in the suit that puts a little electronic tinge to the voice. Like
or it's not George Clooney in a Halloween costume going, "Hey kids, I'm Batman."
Oh my god. Wait, no, my favorite.
Let's not get into Batman and Robin because I could go on that for hours. But anyway,
my favorite part of the trailer, I think though, is when Clark Kent goes to Bruce Wayne and is like, "Well, what are your feelings on this Bat vigilante?" And then just the most smirkiest smirk that has ever.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Okay, I need to get into my thoughts now because I can't hold it anymore.
Go ahead.
I can't hold it.
Go.
Okay, we're going to start at the beginning of that. That scene is what I've wanted from a Batman-Superman movie. I have been waiting for this for years. I wanted to see a scene where Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne battle each other using wits, and I was literally screaming when I saw that scene. I got so happy, and then I ended up, and then it was like, the best part about the line is the line where he's like, maybe it's a Gotham City in me. I'm just tired of seeing clowns in costumes. I'm like,
that was
then
so good. I was like, oh my god, I think we need a glacier here because I think Superman's about to die from that burn. That was amazing.
And then we get Jesse Eisenberg, which I'm gonna give my 2 cents. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm still very much like on the fence. I'm gonna have to wait until the full movie comes out. So we'll see. But I just thought it was okay. Like some lines were great. Like there was a line in the trailer where he's just like, "Psycho is like insane's a 3-syllable word or something." I think it was like, that's a great line. I mean, they can put it up later. And then you get great.
Was just having so much fun.
And then you get great shots of Batman. I mean, I think Ben Affleck's going to be a phenomenal Batman. He's world weary. He's been doing this for a while. It's no origin like he's fresh out the gate. He's been doing this for a while. And I love the fact that we're using the Battle of Metropolis as the reason as to why Batman hates Superman is because of the reason where he says, like, that son of a bitch brought the war to us. That's a great line because that gives a whole new dynamic to the Batman-Superman relationship. Now, you mentioned before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Recheck, because we're going to talk about this.
Guys,
they revealed in this movie Doomsday is going to be in this movie. Spoiler
alert! It's so upsetting. I miss the days when the trailer didn't tell you the major points of the movie.
Like, I would recommend not watching this trailer just for that alone because I watch it. I'm like, why?
The movie is called Batman versus Superman. That means I'm going into this expecting the majority of the movie to be Batman versus Superman. Not Batman versus Superman. Oh, hey, here's Wonder Woman, and hey, here's Doomsday.
This whole movie
is up for this.
This whole movie essentially is going to be a setup for Justice League, which comes out, I think, 2017, or at least Part 1 does.
No, I think Part 1 comes. I think
it's 2018.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That's Aquaman. That's Aquaman.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
I thought about Aquaman. Okay.
No, I'm interested to see Jason Momoa's Aquaman, but to add my 2 cents on Doomsday, I've, like everyone here, I've been waiting to see a Batman-Superman movie since Batman and Superman met up in the animated series.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a big screen theatrical variation of this, and I'm glad I'm getting it. I've also been anxious to see Doomsday on the screen. Now, here's my beef with Doomsday. There's several things. One, oh my god, that look. What the hell?
It's the Abomination meets a Ninja Turtle.
Meets a Goomba. Like, there's pictures out there where they have a picture of Doomsday, and underneath you have a Ninja Turtle, you have Abomination from Bolt, you have
you referenced the movie.
Something else, and a Goomba from the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I'm like, oh dear God. So I have to talk.
Another spoiler, because at this point, screw it. Made from General Zod.
I don't mind that.
Is it made in General Zod?
It's General Zod.
Oh,
Like Doomsday's body, Doomsday himself, is the dead / brought back to life corpse of General Zod. Now in the comics,
goody.
Now in the comics, Doomsday was not Kryptonian whatsoever. Doomsday is so much older, and Doomsday's main thing is every time he dies, he comes back to life stronger than ever, and what killed him previously is unable to kill him again, which makes him such a volatile force in the DC universe. But the other big thing that when you think Doomsday, you immediately go to Death of Superman. And like
even I do to an extent. So
which we clearly know is not going to happen.
No, I completely.
I don't know, they might. I actually would think it would be really interesting if they turned it into a Death of Superman kind of thing. I don't know. It's unexpected.
If they do, I think it's too early for that. I would have waited. I would have rather seen Doomsday as like maybe one of the villains in a Justice League movie, or as the villain in Man of Steel 2.
Actually, I think the villain in the Justice League movie might be Darkseid.
If they do that, they better. I'm gonna curse right now. If they do Darkseid in the Justice League movie, they better fucking do him right, or I will fly to Los Angeles to the Warner Brothers offices and talk to Cary Fukunaga himself and be like, "What the fuck were you thinking?"
Wait, hang on, Cary Fukunaga. That's not. You mean Kevin Tuzahara?
Kevin Tsujihara. God damn it!
You tried.
I'm so angry. I get names messed up.
All right, so we're
gonna wind down on this, and actually we're gonna pick up where we left off on the first episode, and instead of talking about the things that we love the most in games, TV, and in games, movies, and TV, I was trying to say music for some odd reason. We're gonna talk about the
country.
Yes, I do hate country. But we're going to talk about our most hated things. Personally, for me, this was actually really hard to compile.
Oh, this wasn't hard.
There's a lot of things that I don't like, but there's not a lot of things that I truly hate. So with that
I was in that same boat.
So with that said, we're going to have Brian lead us off with his choices. So
okay, so first one on my list. Now, as I mentioned before, Clancy Brown played the main villain in a film called Highlander, where he played the villain called the Kurgan. And for those of you who have not seen Highlander, I'm not going to say get out from the rock that you're living under and go see it, but I am going to say go see it. But it is a great cult classic film. And the story revolves around these race of humans who are immortal. And the only way to kill them is to cut their head off, and their main purpose in life is to be the one. There can be only one. If you've heard the phrase "there can be only one," it's from that movie. Sometime later, they decided to make a sequel, Highlander 2: The Quickening.
Even the title sounds dumb. I don't even know what it is, but I have to just say, like, as first glance, as somebody who doesn't know what's about to be discussed, that title sounds really dumb.
God bless you.
That's really stupid. The Quickening?
Yeah. Well,
like what?
Well, the Quickening itself is what the Immortals called when after you kill an Immortal, you take their power, you take their knowledge, their skill, and what they've experienced in life, and they call that the Quickening.
But that still doesn't. That's a dumb title. It's all dumb.
Taylor, one of these days I'm going to show you the original Highlander. You're going to love it. But anyway, the main thing in Highlander is that the Immortals don't know where they came from at all. And they established that throughout the entire movie. And it had Christopher Lambert and Sean motherfucking Connery in it. And it was awesome.
I love Sean Connery.
Anyway, the sequel had Christopher Lambert and Sean motherfucking Connery in it. But it also brought in the new villain, whose name I refuse to remember because the movie is so bad, played by Michael Ironside, a.k.a. Sam Fisher from the Splinter Cell games. But in the first 5 minutes, now there's been recuts, re-edits of this to eliminate this fact, but the fact still exists. Fucking Zeist! This movie establishes in the first 5 minutes the Immortals are aliens! They're not aliens! God damn it, they're not aliens! They're not supposed to be aliens! And it completely contradicts everything they did in the first movie in the first 5 minutes! also they made it a science fiction movie set in the future where humanity destroyed the ozone layer because of pollution, because, you know, social commentary and all that jazz, and created a shield.
You know, wait, can I just take a quick detour for a second now that you've said that? I've noticed most things that are considered B-list flicks have some kind of environmental social commentary going on, and I just don't understand why they all have that in common.
Our movie is terrible. Here's a great message behind it.
I don't know if that's saying if you're backing the green message that you're a piece of shit, or maybe the movie's a piece of shit for backing it, but something clearly here is horrible, and I just don't understand.
They made a movie so terrible that you're going to want to go out and recycle it and go green because of it.
But, like, every bad movie I've seen lately just has that social, like that recycle, care about the earth message, and I just don't understand why they all do it so blatantly.
I don't know either, but anyway, to continue to finish off my Highlander 2 The Quickening rant, because again, this is a movie I hate and I can tell you all its flaws ad nauseum, and if you want to, follow me on Twitter and have a discussion with me on why I hate Highlander 2 on Twitter at Brian Bernardi. But anyway.
Oh my god.
But anyway, the last thing that they did in this movie, like I said, it's set in the distant future. They took elements from Blade Runner. They pretty much made Highlander 2 Blade Runner, and on the back of the box, they had the balls, the giant cojones, to say it was the smartest science fiction thriller since Blade Runner. Bullshit! Bullshit. This movie is garbage.
Any movie that claims that, I immediately distrust.
Yeah, here's the thing. I've seen Highlander 2. Maybe the smartest sci-fi thriller since Super Mario Brothers, sure. But I can't say since Blade Runner.
No, you can't say
Super Mario Brothers, I like it.
So like a lot of the films on our list, all three of us share, and we'll get to those in a minute. The next one is going to be a game that I'm not a big fan of. And I'm going to stay out right now. I know for a fact I'm going to get a lot of heat for this choice. But one game I cannot see myself, like, it's not really a bad game, but I got incredibly bored with it to the point where I couldn't even finish it. And I finish almost every game I play. And that's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Because in my opinion, now I loved the Assassin's Creed franchise up to 3, and I actually do like Syndicate, the new one. I didn't play Unity, and I refused to play Unity because I heard it's buggier than a piece of shit.
Did you play Rogue?
I did not play Rogue.
Okay.
I did not play Rogue. I completely forgot about Rogue, but thank you for reminding me about that. But Assassin's Creed 4 was the point in the franchise where I was like, they're not even trying anymore. Like, Ubisoft isn't even trying anymore to bring anything new to these games. I mean, the combat is I literally could take a nap and kill every enemy. Because the combat was so autopilot, it was not even fun. And I'm talking about the melee combat. The ship combat had me hooked for about an hour. Then after that, I was like, it's the same combat from Assassin's Creed 3. I'm going to go play Assassin's Creed 3 and kill people with an axe. That's more fun. And then the next game on my list, but like, this is just a game that just bored the hell out of me. I can't even remember the story.
I almost feel like that's worse than an overall bad game, because when it's just, you're going in and you're expecting so much, and then when it's just boring and there's no particular, like, it's either just like boring gameplay or boring combat, but nothing necessarily bad, it's such a letdown.
It is.
Like, I can't even laugh about how bad this game is because it's just, I want to sleep. Like,
exactly. Like, it didn't appeal to me whatsoever. And if you love the game, good for you. But for me personally, it did not appeal to me whatsoever. And the next game on my list, like, I went with one movie, but the other two movies on my list are are the same movies as Taylor's and John's. And the next game, the last two ones are games. The next one's Fable 3. Fable 3, I had so much hype for. And again, like, this isn't a game that bored me. I actually got pissed with this game, and one of the reasons that I got pissed, there was no repercussions for death. Like, if you died in the game, it wasn't game over, go back to a checkpoint, try again. It was, you died, wait 30 seconds, oh, I'm back to life again, and I could continue with the story with no repercussions except some experience loss? Alright. Dead.
That's really.
See, I've never played the Fable games because they've really never held my interest, so I can't comment on this.
I mean, like, the first two Fable games were good. Fable 3, it had so much potential, and it wasted it. Also, the ending sucked. Like, the ending did not appeal to me. It was just, like, the ending came out of nowhere. It didn't really feel satisfying of an ending. I was like, okay, I killed the bad guy. Or did I? I don't know.
Or did I?
I don't know. This is one of those games.
How do you not know?
Because the way the game implies the final villain in 3, it's like the darkness in
The darkness.
It's like the darkness. They called it I think they called it the darkness. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's always a pet peeve of mine in games, and even some of my favorite games do that. When they call enemies like the darkness or the light or something like that. I'm like, can you stop?
Or the really, really evil people.
Or one of the biggest games that are criminal to this, just on a side note, is Kingdom Hearts, and I love that game, but I also want to strangle it because it's so guilty of doing that, and it's
lazy writing.
Okay, anyways, I just had to get that out real quick.
Yeah, I know. It's to pretty much summarize what everyone here is saying, it's lazy writing when you call yourself that. And it's an all-encompassing being that encompasses the whole land. And the last boss of the game is, it infects your one friend, your trusted advisor, your best friend throughout the entire game. Not the dog, thank God.
Not the dog.
Not the dog. And then you kill your best friend, and then it goes to credits. So I'm like, wait, so did the darkness just imbue its whole being into this one guy to kill the hero? That seems counterproductive. That's like I'm going to go with the Gurren Lagann reference here. That's like the anti-spiral saying, you know what, even though we're all powerful beings and we can whip your ass any minute, we're going to fight on your level.
But is it as bad as the Mass Effect 3 ending?
No. Well, actually, it's more disappointing than the Mass Effect 3 ending.
Really?
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Really?
Because with the Mass Effect 3 ending...
Really? Because Mass Effect 3 made me want to throw the game just all the way into the fire pit.
See, I'm one of the few people who actually did not mind the Mass Effect 3 endings. I was actually...
We were talking about this with you.
Yeah, because I actually felt satisfied with the Mass Effect 3 endings. Now, granted, it had its flaws in how it was in its delivery and stuff, but the overall essence of the ending and that your main character sacrifices himself to save the universe, I was like, all right, that seems like a satisfying ending, because it's like the player character is you, and like, where does this, with the way the story was going and how dark it was getting, I was like, okay, I'm going to die. And the last game on my list, just to finish off my list, is a Dragon Ball Z game. It's Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Dragon Ball Z Sagas is shit. Now, to give you some reasons why it's shit, let me give you some perspective. At the time this game came out, Legacy of Goku 2 had, I think, just come out on the Game Boy Advance. And that was one of the best DBZ games I had ever played.
Was it Legacy of Goku 2, or was it Boo's Fury?
I believe it was Legacy Goku's 2, because the game stops at Cell Saga.
No. Boo's Fury was 2005. Legacy of Goku 2 was 2003. You're right.
Yeah,
Wait,
so this is...
I thought John was right. I'm so confused now.
Legacy of Goku 2 was around early 2000s, like 2003, 2004.
Either, but I remember seeing them, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I never got on the hype of the Dragon Ball games. I was watching the show, but I don't know why I never got into the games.
Because most of the games
2003.
Are the best in the...
2003.
Anyway, 2003. Thank you. So Sagas comes out in between those two, and it goes all the way to the Cell Saga, and they were touting it as an RPG. So I was like, oh, great! They're going to bring the same stuff that made Legacy of Goku great and bring it to the GameCube and PS2 and Xbox.
No.
And it did not work.
No.
The reason why it didn't work, the controls were atrocious.
Oh, God.
Like, I had so I had so much trouble controlling my main character and having him do exactly what I want to do. It made me angry to the point where I wanted to throw a controller at the screen. What did make me angry and what did make me throw a controller at the screen, thankfully the TV didn't break, were the bosses. The bosses were bullshit. They weren't even fair. They would sit in the center of the map and they were spamming McSpammingtons. They just spammed their beam attacks. I was like, God damn it, let me get some melee fighting it. Let me get close. I don't like. Urgh! Also, the graphics were shit. The graphics were shit. This game, it pisses me off. It had no potential whatsoever. It was just a bad game. I try to forget all the everything I hate. Outside of a select few things that I hate so much, they need to be mentioned because these are the bars where you're like, you do not reach this level. Like in movies, you do not reach Highlander 2, Last Airbender, or Dragon Ball Evolution levels.
Oh, we'll get to those, folks.
We'll get to those two in a minute, but you don't get to those levels.
Let's go into something a little. Actually, this is slightly more infuriating. I even have a slight beef against this, and I don't even own this. I think you guys have some beef against Kinect that you need to get out.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Microsoft's failed experiments.
About the Kinect. I don't even own it, and I hate it.
I don't own it either. I've played it numerous times at friends' places, and I've hated it every single time.
And I think
you
go ahead, Brian.
And like I was saying, and I'm in that same boat. I never owned a Kinect. I will never own a Kinect. I refuse to drop the money for a Kinect. But I have played it at various demo kiosks at various retail stores I've either worked at or shopped around at. My nephews had one, so I played it with them when they were younger. They've gotten older and smarter, so they don't really play with that anymore. But the Kinect itself, I'm not talking about any specific game. I'm talking about the unit itself is fucking shit. The motion sensors, the light sensors, the microphone, nothing in it worked. It was a failed experiment made by Rare, who could have used all that money and resources to make good games again, like GoldenEye and Banjo.
No! Specifically Banjo. If we are just nuts and bolts, I can't even begin to describe.
Can we not get me started on that, because I think I'm gonna change my list right now because I just forgot about that.
You forgot about nuts and bolts?
It's better that way. It's better that way.
No, it's not. I gotta discuss this.
Life really is better off without bolts.
But every game on the Kinect was shit.
Yeah.
There was one game, in my opinion, and I think, John, you share this opinion with me, that emphasized everything wrong with it.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so when you were a kid, ladies and gentlemen, what did you want to be? You might have seen Star Wars in the theater, so you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I would love to be a Jedi. I want to go around swinging a lightsaber. And when the Kinect came out, you heard, okay, maybe I can make a Star Wars game out of it, and maybe I can finally live out my childhood dream. It's too bad the game you got was a piece of crap. I'm talking about Kinect Star Wars, because, oh my god, so many wasted potential, wasted in one game. Okay, so you can go around, you want to go around going like this with a lightsaber, swinging around, instead you just go like, hey, look at me, I'm going to swing around my arms like I'm a crazy person, because why not? That's all the Kinect does.
My exposure to Star Wars Kinect has, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you're looking at this, has been limited to the JonTron video.
Oh yeah, no, when he's going like this,
so
we're actually doing the whole time in the game, and then you have the mini games. Okay. So
we have to discuss
we'll get to that in a second. Let me get these others. Let me get these others out of the way first. So you have one game where you can go around destroying stuff. All you're doing is going like boom, 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 the whole time. That's it. And then you have the pod racing where you're going like, it's like, let's imagine Sonic Freeriders on a crappier level. Somehow you managed to do that. I don't know how, but you put Sonic Freeriders make look good. And then we have the dance minigame.
But what
I
is
think I think
what game is that actually a skin of? What is the actual game?
it's a skin of Just Dance. It's a skin
Okay.
of Just Dance.
I thought it was
And
DDR.
it's also the game that made your soul die a little inside because when you see Han Solo dancing to the Star Wars version of Riding Solo,
I'm Han Solo. I'm
you
Han
just
Solo. I'm Han Solo.
I hate you so much for bringing that up. You just sit there and you're just like, I want to die a little inside. This is my childhood getting screwed over. This is what it must feel like.
No, it's very similar. I felt the amount of it's that unsettling feeling you get in Silent Hill 2, where you first walk into the room with Pyramid Head, and he's just desecrating that like weird four-legged thing. It's that feeling of just absolute despair that comes over you.
I
That,
mean,
that's
this
how I
is
felt when I first realized that's what they were giving us. They were giving us this really dumb dancing game. In this game where you could have been a Jedi and you could have lived the dream. It was so close. And it doesn't even need to be close to good. It just needs to be somewhat competent, which the game wasn't even that. It was completely robotic.
I'll put it this way.
Ever it worked.
I will put it this way. There are three things in the Star Wars universe that I hate with a passion.
The Christmas special?
The holiday special, episode 2, and this.
You hate episode 2 more than episode 1?
Oh, I'll get into that later, but yes, I do.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. Okay.
So let me get onto my list now because I got my list here, and we've got some doozies. Now, I forgot about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, so because I forgot, I'm not prepared to talk about it. So I'll save that. We're going to get into the other rare game that made me really angry. Now, when I was a kid, I had an N64 growing up. And one of the games I remember my buddy brought over was Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64 was the game where, you could live out, dogfights in space. That's essentially what the whole hook was. And it's a great hook. You got to enjoy a good story and phenomenal aero battle gameplay. So when it was announced they were going to do Star Fox for the GameCube, I was like, all right, that's a good idea. Then it was announced it was going to be a platform game / aero fight shooter. I'm like, okay, Star Fox is on the ground. Let's see what they got. The result was Star Fox Adventures. This game had so much potential into making this a great game, and it's wasted. All of it is wasted. The idea to have Fox on the ground is a great one, but you get to the point where you're just like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Let me out. The space shooting sequences, you're begging, but at one point you're begging for the space shooting sequences, but they're so far in between, you're left to suffer with stupid Dinosaur Planet who only says the name of themselves in English and everything else in a weird language.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to go to Krazoa Palace, potentially? I think
Krazoa Palace
is fun, with General Scales.
Oh, yeah, okay. God, General Scales. And then you've got Prince Goddamn Tricky. These sequences, there's a sequence in the game where you have to take care of, like, the Triceratops Prince, the dinosaur prince. I don't know what you want to call him.
Wait, I just thought it was a random-ass Triceratops. That's like
No, that was the prince.
That's so dumb. Why is that so dumb?
Let me explain. You had essentially to make sure he followed you everywhere. That means if you lose him for a little bit, you had to backtrack over every single area that you lost, pick him up and get him to go follow you. And you're sitting there and you're like, I just want to play the game. Let me play the game. Please, God, let me play the game. End this now. Why?
Oh,
and the sad thing is, this was the last thing Rare made for Nintendo before being bought out by other companies, which I will get into another day. The next game on my list it's not particularly a terrible game. I actually would say it's actually a rather underrated one. The only reason why I have it on my list is because it just pisses me off.
Yeah, I might fight you over this, John.
I know you will, and I will. I'm expecting heat for this.
Okay, as long as you were fully aware.
I'm fully aware that what I have on here is not a good thing, but Super Mario Sunshine is obnoxious.
No,
It's
it's not.
it's obnoxiously hard. It's again, I will admit, it's actually it's a good game. It's a fun, enjoyable game, but it's obnoxious. It's obnoxious in how hard it is, especially on the secret levels where you don't have your little water pack.
I actually like the secret levels the best.
I mean, the controls I think are so slippery. They're just every time I play it, they're just so like slippery. Like move Mario a little bit, he just like slides for like 5 seconds. You're like, whoop, bye, I'm down the hole. The camera is awful. The camera places you in the worst places at the worst times. So if you're like playing one of the secret levels and you need to jump, you're trying to move the camera so you can see. It doesn't. It just goes like, look, let me go down a little bit. Oh, you died. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. My bad. And that goes with the controls. They can just be so just confusing. You're like, wait, which button is which? Am I doing this right? And then it's like, oh, no, wait, died again. So I get it. It's a good game, and I will admit it's a good game. But it's obnoxious. It's really obnoxious. Also, they made Bowser sound like some 40-year-old dad.
But Bowser probably is a 40-year-old dad in that game.
I know, but his voice is weird, and I don't like it. His voice is like, oh, Mario.
I don't know why I always had a soft spot for Super Mario Sunshine. That game, I don't know. I just always found that game just really a lot of fun. Anyways, before I babble on about Super Mario, I'm gonna let you continue.
Now I have a question. Now
Yeah.
here's my question because I'm a little just looking for clarification. There's another game I want to talk about, but it's in the Sonic universe. Are we saving that for later?
Yes.
Okay, so I can move on.
We have the roasting of Sonic planned.
Okay, so I can save that. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to move on to my movies. Because there's a bunch of movies here that some of them match up, and one of them matches up with Taylor, two of them match up with all three of us, which we'll get into. Let me get into the ones that I despise with passion. The first one's Aragon. Now, when I was in middle school, I grew up loving Aragon, and I thought it was just an enjoyable book. The movie I was looking forward to, I was hoping it'd be great. I wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but I wasn't expecting the cinematic train wreck I'd be getting. This movie, half of the book is gone. There are certain plot elements, key plot elements, that would help progress the series forward that don't show up in this movie. They're just not there. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, why? Please, Lord, why is all this gone? Secondly, it's just, you've seen this story before. It's a young farm boy who wants something better in life and finds this great mystical destiny thrust upon him, and he has a wise old mentor to help him. Gee, I wonder where I've seen this before.
You mean besides every other fairy tale ever,
What
including?
with dragons?
Oh, especially King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table. That's like young Arthur right there.
I was gonna go with Star Wars, but
That's like
works too.
young Arthur right there.
And then, really, the only good part of this movie is Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons at least tried. He tried with this role, but it's so like such a supporting role. You just gotta deal with this Ed Spleers and Rachel Weisz, who was poorly miscast as the voice of Saphira, I might add, because why? And Garrett Hedlund as Murtaugh, which was stupid. But you had that, and then you had John Malkovich doing his John Malkovich thing times 10.
His John Malkovich thing. All right, I feel that.
I mean, literally, there was one line in the movie, I literally can do a line where he's like, do not delay my suffering. That's literally one of the only lines he has in the movie. And it's like, you have John Malkovich. Use John Malkovich.
It's like in what Food Fight, for an example, where they have all these brand names and they're only using them in like one tiny little scene.
You have Mr. Clean. Use Mr. Clean.
All right. So before you continue on your list, I think we're gonna take a quick little 5-minute break, and then we're gonna come back, and John's gonna finish up his movies and games, and then we're gonna move into mine. So, all right.
So we'll see you guys when we come back from the break.
All right.
off to a damn great start.
Hi, everyone.
Nah.
I'm sorry. I don't know why. I just got really nervous and then I. What the hell are you doing?
Blooper reel.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think I'm okay. I'm probably not okay, but we'll try. We'll try it anyway.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
No.
No.
No, we will not do it live.
All right.
Will be.
All right. Okay. We're going live in 5 seconds of silence.
Now. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that brief blooper clip that we played in the break. So, as we said before we left for our break, we're going to finish off with John's list, and then we're going to go straight into Taylor's list. So, John, continue where you left off.
All right, so I mentioned before that I did like Aragon. I mentioned before the break. There's another book adaptation I don't like, and it's Percy Jackson. I'm going to go really quick for time purposes, but Percy Jackson, the movies are not... They miss the point of the books entirely, and the problem is that they don't recapture the spirit of the books. There's no build-up with any of the major plots. Like, for example, it's like, boom, you're the son of the sea god. No build-up, just you're son of the sea god. There's no point to it. No rhyme, no reason. The sequel was a lifeless, soulless mess, and it looked like no one really wanted to make this sequel to begin with, because they were like, all right, it's one and done. I'm good. I'm finished. Now, to wrap up, I actually have a tie for my final movies. I'm going to go over my one choice, and then my other choice is a movie Taylor has on her list. So let me just get into this first one. Sucker Punch is an abomination. Sucker Punch is a movie that makes no sense, does not have a reason to be there, and just has visuals for the sake of having pretty visuals. There's no rhyme or reason behind anything that's happening in that movie. Also, they objectify women in the worst way possible. Honest, like, I sat there and I was like, I don't even know if I'm a feminist yet. Even I'm offended by all this. I mean, I'm not wrong here. They objectify women in the worst way possible.
Just the way you said that. But yeah, I see it from the trailers. I could see that. I'm not surprised.
It's like Zack Snyder, do the owls. Don't do this. Now, the next movie.
Are you ready? Okay. Do you mind if I take this real quick?
I mean, I was also going to go in with a story of how this came to be, because actually there's a story behind it.
Alright, you go, and then I will tell my initial experience with this, because it was relatively unpleasant.
So, I get out of seeing this movie, and then this one gives me a call, Taylor, and she says, I tell her, like, I just saw the worst movie I've ever seen. And I'm like, she's like, oh, what did you go see? I'm like, I just saw Fan Four Stick. And it is the worst comic book movie.
Fan Four Stick. It's everything about it.
I'm gonna say it.
Everything about it is bad. Alright, so I watch bad movies as a hobby. I mean, I like Raiders of the Lost Shark, Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark, I hate Sharknado actually. I'll get into that in a few. But Sharktopus versus Whalewolf. Like, obviously there's a trend here of sharks. But I like bad movies. And I asked to leave. I tried to get out of the theater and leave. And the only reason why we stayed was because my boyfriend paid like $20 for the tickets. That's the only reason why we stayed was because we didn't want to waste ticket money. But it's like we said earlier with Black Flag, where it's not even bad, it was boring. There was nothing
I thought it
happened.
Like, no, literally, the entire movie, and yeah, there was some behind-the-scenes controversy where I would just suggest looking it up because there's a lot of it. But the whole movie literally goes in no direction. Like, I'm sitting there, and they're at the point where it's like, 1 year later or a few months later, and I'm like, all right, so what do we got? We've got 30 minutes left, and nothing's happened.
Like the Victor Doom scenes,
Oh, God, the morning mess up Dr. Doom.
Minutes! Like, that. So why were we here for a 5-minute combat?
Also, everyone is lifeless.
I understand. Look, don't get me wrong. I understand having a slightly calmer first movie in order to build up to a radical second movie, but your entire first movie cannot be just boring plot build-up. Like, there needs to be exciting things happening throughout. There were no beats. There were no moments. There was no intimacy between the characters. Like, you didn't feel for them. You didn't feel for their relationship.
There's no intimacy because no one looks like they're giving a crap. I mean, honest to God. Everyone in this movie is a great actor. I mean, go see Michael B. Jordan in Creed for all you know.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. Everyone was like, man, I could be doing so much better shit. Meanwhile, Michael B. Jordan's just like, man, wait till you just see Creed. Wait till you see Creed. No one will remember I was in this movie.
On the topic of Michael B. Jordan, there's that entire controversy where they went to the interview for, like, you know, them being siblings. And that's not a problem, but you have to be able to telegraph that relationship. You know, I don't care what two people look like if you're telling me they have a familial bond, but you have to be able to act like you are family with that person.
Like, same with Reed and Ben. You have to care that they are...
But I didn't like what's her name? Mara? No, what's
Kate Mara.
Kate Mara. I keep trying to call her Mara Wilson, and I don't know.
No, totally different person.
Kate Mara and Michael B. Jordan, like, they seem like they barely know each other. And then with their father, they seem like they barely know the father. There's nothing. There's no good moments that makes you relate to them. That's like. All the stressful moments just seem like minor inconveniences, and it's like, wow, this is slightly upsetting. I'll get over it in like 5 minutes. And the CGI is, there's the scene where they come back from, you know, their first trip and when everybody gets the powers, and Reed is looking for Ben. And, you know, you see Ben in the corner, and he's got the rocks on him. And he looks on the table, and he sees Johnny. And he looks up and he's just like, Johnny, no! And it's the most unenthusiastic thing. Like, the most unenthusiastic reaction.
No. The most
somebody you're friends with on fire.
The most unenthusiastic. First off, they messed up the two most iconic Fantastic Four catchphrases badly. Like, literally, there's a part of the movie. I'm going...
time!
No, not even that. This is what they did. When Michael B. Jordan is going to go Human Torch, he goes like this. This is exactly how he does it. Blame on.
At this point, I just would have. I think it's very similar to The Room, where after so many rewrites, the actors just got so unenthusiastic with so much background controversy going on. I just think everybody in Fantastic Four just stopped caring.
This movie makes the case that Marvel should just get these rights back and do something far better with the series.
Hopefully we'll get that with Spider-Man at some point, too. I'm tired of Uncle Ben.
Actually, no, they did. Marvel has a lease. Not the actual rights, but a lease with Sony.
But I'm still concerned.
But the movie...
Have every right to be concerned with Sony, because remember, there was a point where Sony was planning, and I'm not joking here, guys, Sony was planning an Aunt May movie.
That is a topic for another day. I'm just going to wrap this... I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm wrapping this up really quick. Let me just.
I just want to say, I'm one of the lucky few who has not seen Fan 4 shit, and I am glad about that.
Skip it. I would rather watch the what's her face, Boobs McGee version of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Jessica Alba. Like, I'll put it this way.
Jessica Alba version. I'd rather watch that on repeat for 5 hours. Anyways, John, you finish up your final points, and then we'll move on to the absolute abomination of the world.
The movie is out now, I think, on DVD and all that. I think it's out at this point. If you want to see it because you're a masochist, then by all means go ahead. But we're going to tell you right now.
No.
Don't do this to yourself.
No,
we are your intervention. We are your intervention. Don't do it.
That's saying something that this podcast is someone's intervention. Anyway.
All right, so we're going to move on from that piece of shit to even bigger pieces of shit. All right, I have some major beef with Sega. I have some real major beef here. I grew up with Sonic. That was all right. You have when you were a kid. There were 3 there were three protagonists that you really kind of just chose and you grew up with. You had Link, you had Mario, and you had Sonic. Those are really like the big three that I've noticed people stick with. Even though two of them are technically Nintendo characters, whatever. I always really went along with Link and Sonic the most. So when you had this translation from 2D to 3D Sonic, we had the adventure games, which are very, very controversial. I am a fan of the adventure games. I actually have them right. I actually have my GameCube in the drawer right next to me with both Sonic Battle 1 and Battle Adventure 2 in it. So I liked those. I mean, don't get me wrong, going back and playing them now, I realize everything about them is really shitty, minus the Chow Garden. Like, they just didn't age well. But for what they were when they came out, I think they were great games. And then 2006 happened. 2006 happened, and it really shouldn't have happened. Like, we really should have just skipped over it. We didn't. Sega had the brilliant idea to bring back Sonic, to basically redo the franchise. So we had Sonic the Hedgehog, also known as Sonic 2006, which is arguably not nearly as bad as Sonic Boom. I will make that argument, and I will stand by that argument. Those are the two.
Can I counter-argue?
Yes.
Sonic Boom, I just think is a hilarious comedy that's disguised as a game.
Here's my let me just get my reasons out for Boom real quick, just because I'm gonna lose track of this. Boom, Sonic 06. There are aspects of a Sonic game in there. You can look at it, and even though it's buggy as hell and it's not really fun, it's still recognizable as a Sonic game. Even if you just took out the characters and you put in Mario or something, you can look at it and be like, this is a Sonic game. It's a bad one, but it's a Sonic game. You cannot do that for Boom at all. There's like no hint of Sonic in there. It's just a game with Sonic characters in it. And that to me is the bigger atrocity in the end.
And great dialogue.
It's not even good. It's not even a good game that has nothing to do with Sonic. It's a bad game. It's buggy as hell. Like, how does a game have a bug where you just infinitely jump cars? How does a game do that? I don't understand.
And then you have unfinished levels.
Oh God, it's just. And then
you have lines like this: Knuckles, go right. Okay. Got it.
Got it. We're good. And then what I think is even more unforgivable is when somebody looks at Sonic Boom and they say, oh, but it's a kid's game. When we were kids, like, there was no, oh, it's a kid's game. Everything, I mean, really was kind of up to the same standards. It might have been sillier in content, but they were good. They were well done, I mean, for the most part.
That's like arguing that Shadow the Hedgehog is a kid's game. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's racist as hell.
Oh my God!
There's guns in that game.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Look, I see where they were going. They had ideas, and
they were going full racist.
I liked the concept that you were able to pick your own story. That was very Renegade for Life. That was very Shadow. You know what I mean? Being able to pick your own side, customize. That really was very Shadow-like, and I give them props for that. But and this is also a fault with Boom. Even the soundtracks are boring and unforgettable, and that's
wait, hang on. Shadow had that.
Yeah.
Shadow had that kick-ass opening song that made me laugh hysterically.
But that's about it. But 06, the music from 06 is actually beautiful. I don't mind if, like, when I'm working, I have actually once listened to the Sonic 06, the original soundtrack, and it was fine. I liked it, you know? So, at least it has things going for it, Sonic 06. It's a horrible game. It's a horrible, 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 horrible game. But at least in the end of the day, is more faithful to what a Sonic game is.
Like bestiality?
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Gretchen wieners, okay? That's not a thing. Alright, so from there, I'm going to switch into my one truly unique hatred, and then we have Dragon Ball Z and Airbender to discuss with you. So, I hate Sharknado. For somebody who likes shark movies, I know that sounds really, really dumb, but I absolutely hate Sharknado. I hate Tara Reid's face. I hate the plot. It doesn't make any sense. You have waitress girl who's into bar guy. Bar guy is married to Tara Reid, and Tara Reid has disposable 5-minute husband boyfriend thing. Tara Reid and bar guy have 2 kids. The girl has some weird daddy doesn't love me complex, and the boy, I don't really know what his issue is, but he's got some issue. So then you got bar girl who's into bar guy, but then somehow he ends up hooking up with the son, because that's okay. That's not Jacob Wolf like or Jacob Black like at all. To like be in love with like, the parent and then go for the kid. That's so weird. And then she's got this hamburger meat like scar on her leg from this really dumb shark story. And then the movie ends with them taking a bomb and throwing it into a shark-filled tornado. What?
Can we also point out that in Sharknado 3, Bar Girl becomes leader of underground shark resistance movement?
Stop. Like, I like bad shark movies when they are genuine, when the person actually doing it legitimately thinks they are doing something good for humanity and they create like this abomination. But
Go Shark.
Shark, yes, Go Shark is a wonderful example of that. But Sharknado, it's such a cash cow. Everything about it is, this is a trend, this is a fad, we're going to surf the wave, pun intended, kind of. We're going to surf the wave and like make all the money on it. And it's just, I don't like that, because now there are so many shark movies like that. And I realize all of my issues with Sharknado are absolutely dumb, because I'm upset that bad shark movies are less legitimate because of it, and that's really dumb.
Now, let me ask you this: Have you seen Sharknado 3?
No, I won't watch it. After.
Okay, can I tell you how it ends then? And spoiler, obviously. Can I tell you how it ends?
Go for it.
Okay.
It ends. First off, they finally do what I've wanted them to do: Sharknado in space.
What?
But look, that's nowhere near as cool as in Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby when you ride Rayquaza into space. So I'm upset.
Chainsaw lightsaber.
We're gonna stop now.
And then it ends like this.
Stop.
They blow up the space station. It heads towards Tara Reid, and she screams at it. And then it cuts to black, and it goes, help decide her fate in the next Sharknado movie. It literally ends on a choose-your-own ending.
It's a choose-your-own-adventure shark movie. And on that, I'm going to choose my own adventure to talk about why I'm making this choice. I am willingly wanting to talk about Dragon Ball Evolution. Let's do it.
We all are. Okay.
Let's talk about the biggest piece of whitewashing sins of humanity.
You can make this argument for both Dragon Ball Evolution and The Last Airbender.
Look, I'm not the kind of person to throw that term around, because I understand a lot of times there is such thing as like artistic integrity, especially in casting. You know what? When you're taking an adaptation, you're making it your own. So I get that. But what they did,
that producer and director of each of Skies and Kings.
What they did to Dragon Ball and Airbender is like an atrocity.
There's a difference between creative liberties and bastardization.
And it's like, but the thing that bothers me is Airbender with the whitewashing thing. You have the entire water tribe looks completely Inuit, which is fine. That's okay.
I actually have some insight behind that, by the way.
But then our 2 main characters are as white as I am. That doesn't make any sense. That's not consistent.
No. No, it's not.
I actually have some insight into that.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead, John.
What is your insight? Tell us your wisdom.
I have an article right here in front of me on my phone. There was a website, I guess somebody on avatarspirit.net forums, username was, I don't remember the username.
Because that sounds trustworthy.
No, they worked on the movie, and they actually had some stuff here.
Oh, boy.
Like, here's what happened. Apparently, M. Night's first draft was amazing. His first draft actually worked, and that's why Bright gave them the okay. The producers were not they never bothered to watch the show, and had a ghostwriter who did the final screenplay, apparently. Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm just reading what might have happened from this user here. So I could be entirely 1,000% wrong. I'm clarifying that right now. Katara was hired because it was the daughter of someone the producers owed a favor to Hollywood. And that's why they had to cast the guy who played Sokka, because it just kind of led from one thing to the other.
He was atrocious.
He was the most, like, I don't... When I was imagining how this movie could go, when I first heard of it, and I pictured Sokka's character, I pictured it going bad in ways of it being very Owen Wilson-like in execution. And that, you know what, that's fine, actually, because that's very Sokka in the end of the day. But he had one job, and that was to be funny.
And then actually, the guy who played Sokka actually got the character right, but the producers thought they were going to cut out all the intentional humor. They cut all that out.
But that's... You're dealing with a kid's show that's talking about such serious matters. You need the humor. That's what made Avatar so special. This
is a grade A case.
And then
grade A case of executive meddling.
Originally, Zuko was going to be played by Jesse McCartney.
What?
Originally, Zuko was going to be played by Jesse McCartney.
What? Okay, look, Zuko in the anime, like,
so then someone would,
looked like a pretty boy. So that could have, I mean, like, I wouldn't have necessarily complained about it.
But then someone was like, wait, it's an anime-based show, we hired white kids. Shit. And then, apparently, they couldn't can Katara without someone getting mad, so Jesse McCartney bowed out, and that's how Dev Patel came in. And then they're like, well, if Dev Patel's Indian, we gotta make the entire Fire Nation Indian. And the opening, apparently, the budget was horrible. The effects...
The opening was,
apparently, the effects were rushed for a reason, trying to get the movie out. But Bright had little to say in the movie. They were just executive producers because they needed their name on the movie somehow.
All right. Let's talk about...
That's how the Pebble Dance happened. The Pebble Dance happened because they didn't have enough time to finish the effects. That's how you got the Pebble Dance.
But then you have things... All right, I can see excuses for Airbender, but Dragon Ball Z...
Oh my God! Can I have the floor?
Wait, hold on. Airbender hit points. And then... Wait, Airbender at least hit points of the show.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did. No, it didn't. No, Brian. Airbender hit points. Airbender had certain aspects they got.
They did it horribly, but they at least had some comprehension of the source material. Dragon Ball Z had absolutely no comprehension of anything.
Get it right.
Now, okay, hang on. I want to point this out.
Wait, hold on. I think we need to let Brian on a rampage before he explodes. So
I know.
Let's let him go.
Brian, save your anger for... Folks, we have an actual episode coming up where we fully divulge into Dragon Ball Evolution. This is going to be a taste of what Brian's going to do.
Okay, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, sit down, for I'm about to rant on the worst movie ever produced and ever put to celluloid. See that back there? That's my fucking childhood right there. Goku, wherever my arm is pointed, Frieza. The DVDs are on there. The Dragon Ball Z mangas. I need to get the Dragon Ball mangas again. But that was my childhood. Now, let me rewind the clock a bit to a wee young lad who learned that Hollywood was making a live-action Dragon Ball movie. I was excited. I was like, yes, they're making a live-action Dragon Ball movie. This is going to be awesome. Dragon Ball is actually one of the first... This is the one time I will ever give Dragon Ball Evolution credit for anything. This was the first movie that ever made me actually want to dig for stories and information about a live-action movie. And I regret it. Because I started seeing castings. I started seeing... Like, when I heard... Like, I was really excited when I heard Chow Yun-fat was going to be Master Roshi. I was like, ooh, that's going to be interesting. Then I heard Justin Chatwin is Goku. And I'm like, wait a minute. That kid from War in the Worlds, the annoying son to Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds, is going to be our Goku? Oh, this is going to be terrible. Then I'm like, wait. Liberties must be taken. let's give it a shot. Then I heard Emmy Rossum as Bowman. I'm like, who? I'm like, who's this? I don't. That's
pissed me off.
Anyway, and then you had June Park as Yamcha. I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
Oh my God, Yamcha.
I looked him up. I looked him up. He was apparently before this movie and nothing after this movie. God fuck his career. A parent model in Asia, and I'm like, how did this guy get the role? Whose dick did he have to suck to get this? And then you had James Marsden as Piccolo. I'm like, Spike from Buffy? Really?
No, that could have worked. That could have worked.
I agree. That could have worked. And then I started seeing set pictures. And then I saw the trailer. And then I watched the movie.
Now let me ask you this. Did you pay money to go see it in the theater like I did?
Once.
Okay, so you're like me. I paid money.
Yeah.
I paid money, and then
we all paid money. We all lost money that day.
I gave Fox my money that day once. The second time, it was with a bunch of friends, and I told them, like, I'm not paying for this movie again. This movie was shit. I'm just going to sit here and riff track the movie. And I did riff track the movie, and that was actually the better experience when I was sitting there riff tracking the movie.
Well, I mean...
Like, give me 2 minutes. Give me one more sentence, please. This movie, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the worst pieces of celluloid ever made. It completely, in 30 seconds, 30 seconds. It didn't even take the full runtime of the goddamn movie to ruin the Dragon Ball franchise and name.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
It took 30 seconds. They ruined everything. And one of the producers was Stephen Chow. Stephen Chow was one of the producers. And if you don't know who Stephen Chow is, he was a producer slash director slash star of such movies as Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle. And I remember watching these movies, and I was saying to myself and a bunch of friends of mine, this is the guy. If there's going to be a Dragon Ball movie, this is the guy to do it. And oh my God, like I could go on this for hours, but I want to give you two the chance to talk. So go.
I'm going to reserve a lot of my anger because we are, like I said it before, we are going to be doing a more in-depth episode on this movie because we hate it that much. I'll just say it is the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. It's still the worst movie I've ever seen. Nothing has come close to this. And it's just a bastardization of my childhood. Like, if you give me a choice between this and Last Airbender, I'd probably go with Last Airbender to watch that again if I had to. If I had to. That's someone that don't want to watch this movie ever again.
Ew. Taylor, you want to give your 2 cents?
Sorry, I was just trapped in, like, horrible nightmares about seeing those 2 movies for the first time again. Okay. Airbender was one of those shows that was really precious to me that I watched a lot after school. So seeing that just atrocity broke my heart. And then you have Dragon Ball. And I started watching Dragon Ball when I was like a very little kid. So like I feel like a broken person when I think about those 2 movies. Like, that's honestly the feeling I get. Because it's just like, how are 2 things that were so wonderful and magical just... They were utterly decimated, and I don't understand. I just don't understand how you took something so great and then made it so bad.
I don't know. Like, literally, like...
I just remember sitting there at the end of Dragon Ball Evolution, and I remember it was me and my buddy. We stayed the whole time. We thought, okay, it can't get any worse than how it's getting right now. And then it ended like, we literally walked out of the movie. We didn't talk to each other. We didn't say anything until we got back to his house. And then we just yelled, fuck, so loud at the top of our lungs. I literally just yelled, like, fuck!
It was just... Anyways, I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah, that's all we're going to have for today, guys. We thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Content Creator Podcast. We will be with you again next week where, oh, hey, just to remind you guys, guess what comes out as of this recording in 2 weeks?
Dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
So next week, next episode, to get prepared for The Force Awakens, we're going to talk about nothing but Star Wars. The good, the bad, and maybe the ugly, which is a great movie.
Maybe the holiday special, which is Beyond the Ugly.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, so stir, whip, stir, stir, stir. And before we go and say our goodbyes, guys, John, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at FilmFan108.
And Taylor, where can people find you?
You can find me at Asrielmentius, which is ASRIELMENTIUS.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Brian Bernardi, and be sure to follow the show on Twitter at CC_cast3, and tweet at the show to give us your thoughts on things you love, things you hate, things to Star Wars, and next week we may even bring some of those comments we see on Twitter into the show to give your thoughts on Star Wars onto the air. But until next time, guys, we will see you around, and always remember, guys, content is king.